everyone, welcome or welcome back to another video. Today I bring to you my monthly wrap-up and a TBR. I decided to combine these videos again just because April was kind of a slow reading month for me. I don't really care how many books I read per month, but obviously, okay, all right. Yep, that's fine. I only read 6 books this month, and then you guys would have like a 6-minute video. So I decided to also give you my TBR because I do have quite a large TBR because I'm out of school. So I'm very excited that I'll have a lot more time to read. This month was an amazing reading month. I'm not even kidding you. I did not have below a 4-star read, which is so amazing. It just makes me so happy because I read some really amazing books and I'm very excited to share them with you. So let's get into it. If you keep up with me, then you know that I was in a reading slump at the beginning of April, which is kind of why I didn't read as many books as I normally do. I did a video trying to get out of a reading slump, and the first book in that video was 7 Days in June by Tia Williams. I gave this a 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it. This is a second chance romance about 2 writers, Ava and Shane, and they met in high school and hung out for like a week, and then something bad happened, so they stopped talking for a very long time, and then one day they meet at this like literary writing event, and it goes from there. Ava is a single mom, and her daughter Audrey was so funny in this book. I loved her. She was just a sassy little girl, and I was like, I want my kid to be like you. The chapters are mostly from Ava's point of view. It goes back and forth from when she was 17 and first met Shane to now and her meeting Shane again. But we do get some chapters from Shane's point of view, which I do like because he really cares about Ava, and it's really sweet. There's also like a kind of like subplot about Ava, I feel like, and her friends. She has 2 friends in this book, Belinda and Cece, and the friendship is just so cute. I love when there's cute friendships in books. I feel like it adds a lot. And then Shane also has kind of like a side story because he became a teacher and he helps like troubled kids who have just been through a lot, and it's just really cute because you can see how much he cares about these kids. But I really like this book. I highly recommend it if you haven't read it. It's so beautiful and well written, and I definitely want to read more of Tia Williams. The next book I read was The Ballad of Never After by Stephanie Garber. This is the second book after Once Upon a Broken Heart. I absolutely loved this book. I gave this a 5 stars. It was incredible. I did enjoy Once Upon a Broken Heart. I think I gave it like a 4 stars, but this was so much better. Not that Once Upon a Broken Heart was bad, but this just like blew me away. The plot was amazing. Literally leaves you off on the most heartbreaking cliffhanger. I was crying, and I cannot wait for the 3rd book to come out. I will literally be reading it right away. Highly recommend this series. I definitely think it's good if you're just jumping into fantasy. It's just really easy to read. There's not a bunch of big fantasy words, and there's not like a billion characters for you to remember, so definitely a good way to jump into fantasy. Then I actually went on a little bit of a Lauren Asher craze. I jumped into her book, The Fine Print, and I really enjoyed it, so I actually ended up reading the entire trilogy. Fine Print is between Rowan and Zara, and if you don't know what the series is about, it's the Dreamland Billionaire series. Dreamland is like Disney World. There's 3 brothers. Each book is about one of the brothers. Basically, their grandfather gives them each something they need to do to earn their shares of the company. Each book is them doing what they need to do, and then, you know, obviously it's a romance. So this one is about Rowan and Zara. Rowan is the youngest brother. Zara is the love interest. Zara works at Dreamland. I gave this book a 4.5 stars. I really liked it. I just eat up billionaire romances, honestly. I love it because they just be doing the most outrageous things. We're going on his private jet. I'm like, okay. Let's go. This is literally the definition of grumpy v sunshine. Like, Zara is literally a ray of sunshine, and Rowan is just like so grumpy. Seeing Rowan be able to come out of his shell over time was just very wholesome because he's just very closed off at the beginning, but you see him kind of open up to Zara. And then I read Terms and Conditions, which is about the oldest brother, Declan. I also gave this a 4.5 stars. I really liked it. So this is about Declan and Iris is Declan's assistant. It's Marriage of Convenience. So but it's like Brother's Best Friend, Marriage of Convenience, definitely Grumpy v. Sunshine again. Lauren Asher's banter is unmatched. It was so good in this book. I have like every single one of these books is tabbed so much because I just have so many cute quotes that I love. Definitely very slow burn, which I'm only a fan of slow burn if you know how to do it right, and Lauren Asher definitely knew how to do it right. I love this so much. And then obviously I read the last book, which just came out a couple months ago, Final Offer. I highly recommend this. This one was 5 stars. Very great way to wrap up the series. This is about the middle brother, Cal, who is the one I was most excited about because he's the like fun brother. He's very bubbly, happy, funny, but definitely has a past, and I was interested in seeing that. So this is a childhood best friends to lovers, but it was like childhood best friend to lovers to strangers to lovers. Like, this is with Alana, and they were childhood besties basically for Cal's little thing he has to do. It involves Alana because his grandpa really liked Alana. I really resonated with Cal a lot in this story. I felt the most connection to him out of any of the brothers in each of the books. I loved all of the girl characters, but Cal definitely blew me away with his character. He just said a lot of very relatable things. He's definitely my favorite Kane brother. His story just felt so much more personal to me. I cried like 10 times while reading this book. It was so good. It's definitely thicker than the other books. I loved this trilogy and I highly recommend it to anyone. And then the last book that I read in April was Daisy Hates by Jessa Hastings. This is the second book in the Magnolia Parks universe. This one is about Daisy and Christian, who are 2 side characters that you meet in Magnolia Parks, and they're brought up quite often. In Daisy's chapters, she does these like footnote things where she just kind of like, it's her inner monologue. It's kind of weird. I've never seen it in a book before, but I ended up reading most of this on the Kindle just because I didn't like how I had to like go down, look where the footnote was, and then find my place back up in the book. I get easily distracted, okay? Other than that, I did really like this. I gave it a 4 stars. This book is like the same exact timeline as the first Magnolia Parks book, but it's in Christian, Daisy, and Julian's point of view. Julian is Daisy's brother. It didn't feel repetitive though, because a lot of the time they weren't even around Magnolia and like all her friends. It was like a very different storyline, and this book definitely leaves off on a cliffhanger, so I'm very excited to continue this series. I also love Julian. That's all I'll say. Now for my TBR, which is ginormous, I know, again, but I am out of school, so hopefully I'll be able to get through more of my TBR than I did last month. First book I actually don't have the physical copy of, but it is Happy Place by Emily Henry. I'm actually currently reading this on my Kindle and I'm loving it. It's really good so far. The only other book I've read by Emily Henry is Book Lovers, but I do want to read her other books. Everyone's been raving about Happy Place, saying it's so good, so I decided it just came out, I might as well read it, but I don't want to buy it because I want it to match my other ones. So I'm just reading it on the Kindle, and then once the paperback comes out, I'll buy it whenever that is. Then y'all are gonna be like, for real? And I know, okay? I'm rereading the ACOTAR series. I know I just read it like last year, but I love it so much, and I haven't been in like a big fantasy mood, so I was like, maybe I should read my favorite fantasy series and see if that helps. So I am currently actually reading ACOTAR. I didn't ever annotate any of these books, but since I've already read them, I find little like Easter eggs and stuff, which is so fun. It's just so fun when you already know what happens. You find little things that you didn't notice the first time, and so I've been having a lot of fun reading this. A Court of Mist and Fury is on my May TBR. I don't have high hopes to finish it just because it's huge and I have a bunch of books on my TBR, and I'm not reading these super fast. These are just kind of like casual rereads. It's just not high priority. I'm just kind of reading it whenever I feel like it. Then I have Addicted After All by Krista and Becca Ritchie. This is the 5th book in the Addicted series. I wanted to read this last month, I just never got around to it, so it is on this month's TBR. I would like to read this just so I can continue the series, and everyone says that this is their favorite book in the Addicted series, so I'm really excited but also kind of sad. It's like a bittersweet moment for me. Tell me why. I'm editing this video right now, but I was sleeping last night and I had a dream about this book series, and I had a dream that there was like another book in the Addicted series after Addicted After All that I like haven't read, and I was like, what the f? I didn't even know this existed. This wasn't even in my book series, and I was like so confused, and so I like went all over looking for it and I couldn't find it anywhere. Like, why?
who made that my dream? What was that?
Would like to get to this. Then of course we have Magnolia Park's The Long Way Home. As you saw, I just read Daisy Hates and very excited to get back into Magnolia and BJ's story. I definitely feel more of a connection with them too. I'm very excited to go into this book, but I know a lot of people that read it are like really sad at the end, so I'm scared. Magnolia Park is literally like reality TV, but in a book. And we love that. Hopefully I get around to this month. And then I have King of Pride by Anna Huang. This is her newest release. I actually read all the Twisted series and I have read King of Wrath. It was pretty good. It wasn't like mind-blowing or anything, but it was a cute little romance. I pre-ordered this when she first announced it and it came and I was like, might as well put it on my TBR. I would like to get to it just so I can continue the series because I've read all of these already. So, and then we have a very popular book, The Serpent and the Wings of Night by Carissa Broadbent. Carissa Broadbent. Everyone has been raving about this book. Like, it's literally all I see anywhere. And so I was like, okay, I'll read it. Fine, I'll read it. Okay, so we have it on my TBR. This is, besides ACOTAR, the only fantasy on my TBR. I don't know why, I just haven't been in a huge fantasy mood, which is real unfortunate considering we have all these books to read. It is what it is, you know? Everyone's been loving this book and I'm excited to see what the hype's about. Maybe it'll get me back in my like fantasy era. Then I have Throttled by Lauren Asher. Was loving Lauren Asher last month, and so this is her other series, the Dirty Air series. It's about F1 racers, I believe. She wrote this one actually before the Dreamland Billionaire series. Her new release does come out at the end of this year, so I would love to be able to read all of her books before I read that one. Then I have Birthday Girl by Penelope Douglas. Obviously had to put a dark romance somewhere in here. I have been very intrigued to read this because I do know it's an age gap romance. A girl that's like 19 and the guy's 38. Her boyfriend's father. Yeah, that's real interesting. So really want to get to this one. I love when things are spicy like that. Like, that's really interesting because how did that happen? I want to know, and we're gonna find out. And then I have In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. Everyone's been raving about this book. I feel like the cover is just so spring/summery, and that's what the month of May gives, honestly. Transition month of spring into summer, so I feel like this book is perfect. It's a small town romance. Love small town romance. If you know, I have said it a couple times, but I am going on a trip at the end of May, so it is kind of hard to pick like books because I leave like 3 days before May ends. I know I'll probably read on the plane, so these two books are two that I'm gonna bring on my trip. The majority of the books that I'm gonna read on my trip will be June reads. I did pick Tessa Bailey's My Killer Vacation. This is a very short read, so I think it would be perfect for a plane ride. It's just very summery. I feel like I'm going to a very beachy place. A perfect little book on the way there. I've also never read anything from Tessa Bailey, so this would be my first book of hers, and I'd really like to get into her because I hear a lot of great things. And then the last book on my TBR is The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I love Lynn Painter, as we all know. This would be such a quick, fun read for the airplane as well, so I'll probably be bringing this as well. So those are all the books I read this month, plus all the books that I want to read next month. This is probably going up in May, so this month, but y'all get what I mean. You know what I mean. This month is very exciting. There's going to be a lot of fun videos, so definitely make sure to hit the subscribe button so you don't miss anything, and I will see you guys in my next one. Bye!